This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Good morning, everybody, or whatever time you're listening to this. Welcome to the Nathan, Nat and Sean Catch-Up Podcast.
Oh, yeah. You're going to love it.
Code word for
Is-
Flyaway Fridays to get to Bali.
Should we hold it off until the middle?
No, because
Nah,
I told
'cause they're
people
here.
we wouldn't do that.
Yeah, we don't want to
And
be
now we
advised.
just, people just turned off then because of you. Thank you for sticking around.
No,
if you're
that had
hearing
nothing
this.
to do with it. Well, it did. On a
The
regular
code word
basis.
for
Yes.
Flyaway Fridays, where you could win return flights to Bali with Transnusa Airlines, is
Katoot.
Katoot, like a
Katoot.
sunrise.
Like hot like a Sunday.
All right, on today's show, Caitlin Bassett joined us, but it was Bring Your Favourite Rugby Player to
Bring a
Work
friend,
Day,
yeah.
and she brought Western Force player Nick Champion de Crespigny.
I never get sick of you saying it, Nat.
Who
You do
is
it well.
as Aussie as.
He is. And it's a really good journey about finding out a lot about him.
What an
He's a very
amazing
interesting
bloke,
human.
by the way.
Who has a, they got a, what is it called? A
Safe word.
Safe word.
Wait till you hear what his safe word is. It's great. It's great.
Bloody seagulls. I mean, everyone said it, and we're going to give you a story about a bloody seagull, and you're going to hear some others. joining in.
When you got turned around, inspired by that Qantas flight who was off to Paris, Perth to Paris. It's going to be great, except 7.5 hours in because of war breaking out. They were turned around, so 15 hours in the air, went nowhere. That's rough.
That is rough.
Also,
right.
social justice has been restored after somebody got something from Buy Nothing. And
By who? Who was it restored by? Oh, Ross Warman, a warrior for justice.
well, I got to put it out there, and then they tried to sell it as soon as they got it from Buy Nothing. And they got made accountable.
Jordan
Yes.
Clark joined us as well from the Fremantle Dockers.
This is Nathan, Nat, and Sean. On Nova 937.
It's 6:04, Nathan, Nat and Sean. Happy Wednesday, friends.
Here we
I'm
go.
ready to have fun, everybody. Who's in?
Yeah. Well, when
Ross just asked us, who's ready to have fun?
and
Oh, yeah.
Sean said
Today's
yes.
the day.
Nat, you kind
Let's
of
have some fun, Ross.
laughed at the question, but you got to have fun when the world's doing stuff like this.
They don't know what the they're doing. Do you
Yeah, but-
understand that?
No, but
That
he was,
wasn't at the conflict, was
he
it?
was talking about us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Not for the first time.
Fair
Quite
comment.
accurate.
Not for the first time.
That's the most sensible thing he said so far.
And I agree with him. We don't.
All you can do is have a laugh in life, right?
For sure.
Yeah, while the world burns, yeah.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Couple of stories in the paper today that catch your eye because we're always into food here, aren't
Yeah,
we?
we are. Always thinking about it.
Oh, my God. One is Katy Perry's hairstylist who's thrown out the best banh mi in town. I love
Yes.
the banh mi, Nat.
Yeah, Le Vietnam. Great name. Le Vietnam. But they're the banh mi suppliers to the stars, as it turns
Yeah, a
out.
couple of
my
what
God.
was the other
Yeah.
stars? They had Ed Sheeran. Oh, let me find it. I got the
Pretty much
article.
anyone who's been here seems to go and get banh mi.
Yeah, keep talking. I'll look.
Love a banh mi. Who's into a banh mi here?
I
Yeah, it has to be crispy pork. There's no other option.
wrong.
If you don't know,
A chicken banh mi, terrific.
There's no crunch. You need the crunch.
No, you don't need the
and the
crunch.
fun of crackle. Without crackle,
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with you, Ross.
This time last year I was in Vietnam, actually. Le Vietnam, I might say. And I
That's a
went
French.
to... yeah. Well, it's a big French influence there, Sean. That's why the rolls are so good.
Yes.
Yeah, so the French took good bread to Vietnam, and they embraced it. And I went to this place that was like the banh mi queen or whatever in Hoi An, and the banh mi's came at that when you converted the price, it was $1.80.
Oh, come on.
It was. And these women were pumping out banh mi's so fast. But then I got there one day at like 6 o'clock and I said, can I have a chicken banh mi? She said, oh, no, we've run out. They've run out of chicken.
Yeah.
That's how many they make. It's amazing.
The pate
Yeah,
stuff.
no, I'm not a massive pate fan,
No.
but as a part of the greater banh mi experience, it works.
Yeah,
Lizzo,
yeah.
Ed Sheeran, Luke Longley have all hit up this same banh mi.
God bless Luke Longley. We love him.
Yep.
Flipping the script.
Yep.
Steak sandwiches are on the menu these days, and a lot of people go about, the best steak sandwich going around. I know my younger son, Oliver, he's always talking about the best steak sandwich, and he goes to different places with some of his mates.
Yeah.
And one place we went to recently, and I reckon it was around the Hammy Hill area, and it was $32 for a steak sandwich, and I want to punch him in the face at that stage because he knew I was paying. And for the
That's
amount...
me. I'm not surprised by that price.
In the 20s, you're like...
I just am for some reason, and I know it's been around
because
for a
you're
while.
still living in 1970. What are you talking about?
I
Same
get
hairstyle since then too. Now.
I get the outrage. I understand, that it sounds about right, 30 plus, but you want it in the 20s, and then you're like, cool.
But yeah, I feel it's a $22 meal.
Yeah. And like that, it's usually a special as well. Steak sandwich, $20 and pint or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want a pint as well?
Well, I would have a lemon lime bitters, but yeah, it'd be nice to have the option.
A pint of lemon lime bitters.
So
That's too much sugar, though.
They've named WA's best steak sanger.
Yes, they have, Shawnee. It was at Treendale Farm Hotel.
So that's down near Bunbury, yeah?
Yep.
Near Australian.
Australian. And this is what he said he puts in it. I tried to make a different type of steak sandwich. I used no fresh tomato, no rocket, no usual stuff. I focused on rich, smoky flavour. There's a side sauce for the chips. There's smoked onion in it. And another standout was the
Kimchi.
Yep, kimchi relish. So and it makes it a bit Asian style, a little bit spicy. But that won the best steak sandwich in WA.
$31.
Yeah.
What's the one at Crown? What was the one at Crown?
Oh, yeah, you can get the one at Crown. This is at Towers. I think it was $39 or $37. Either way, I was out. I was really wanting a steak sanger, but then
You had to go down and have a big win on the tables in order to afford it.
I know what you did. You walked down to the food court part and went to Macca's.
There's Subway Eat Fresh. It's like, $12 and the boys can split a half sub 6-inch. So, yeah, anyway.
That's what it costs because we pay our staff properly here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm still, I don't know. I'm still.
It's just shocked.
Things
You're
like
just
steak
shocked.
sandwiches or, things of that ilk, for some reason, I have a cap.
As a
on what they
beef
should be
farmer's
worth.
daughter, I want our beef farmers to be able to make a living,
They should. They should.
Sorry.
Yep.
Sorry to ruin it.
bringing
with
down
primary
them. But,
producer politics.
Natalie, we've talked about this before. You need a loss leader.
Oh, I thought you were going to say we've talked about this before. Don't use common sense.
That too.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
I want to speak about something that's been floating around for a few days since the weekend. If you're watching Channel 10 Sport last night, Paul Hazelby chucked this up as well. And it's to do with seagulls.
It's not the seagull impersonation competition again, is it?
No, we haven't got that. That was great.
We should do it again. It's a huge success. How good are you, Nat, by the way?
Thank
with journaling
you.
animals? The Seaford Tigers took on the Somerville Eagles on Saturday afternoon. That was in the Morning Peninsula. And a guy from Somerville was having a shot for goal. He's launching. He's probably about 40 metres out. Guy on the mark's about 40 metres out. Crucial time of the game.
Yeah.
Should we play it?
Yeah, let's play.
All right, this is it here.
It's running in
Running in. Number 7.
and he kicks.
Left foot.
I got that
He
on video.
got it on video
He did
and it's
get it
gone
on video.
absolutely gangbusters.
Yeah, that's
So-
on our socials, by the way. Nathan and Sean stories. You want to?
It's not. It wasn't a happy story for anyone really because he missed the goal and the seagull
Crucial goal.
was deeply impacted, shall we say?
Yeah. I believe he's asleep.
Yeah, he's just
Seagull.
having a sleep.
Just having a bit of a nurse. Just having a bit of a
sleep.
sleep.
He's in concussion
Bit of a sleeper
protocols.
too.
Yes,
Now, you got to feel for one of the guys who was playing for Somerville on the same team as the kicker who decided, once the seagull got hit, because it was just, trying to put off the goal kicker.
Oh, that's what they were doing, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
because they're the Eagles, so you want to put them off,
Oh,
obviously.
birds stick together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the teammate, he picked it up and carried the bird to safety, clearly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Clearly.
For emergency.
Sleep it off on the side.
Sleep it. Yeah, exactly.
Sleep
Good
it off.
call, Ross. Good call. Bloody seagulls sometimes,
Yeah.
You're just playing a game of sport, trying to win a game,
And they
win the
steal-
Coleman medal.
And they steal your chips.
If that's not bad enough.
I know, right? That is a great affront to a goal kicker for a bird to intercept your shot at
What
goal.
are the odds?
Yeah.
Ever had a problem with a seagull over your journey?
Oh, only from a chip stealing perspective, because it's like when you get your chips out at the beach, it's like one sidles up and sort of side eyes you, and then the next thing you know, like you blink and there's like 400 of them. It's like how did they do that? How did they all converge at that time? And then it's like they just dare one another to get closer.
They get brave real quick.
Yeah, don't they just? It's brazen, and then they're just like, I want a bit of that.
Yeah, do it. You do it. I'll do it. You should do it.
and then
You ready?
let's
Ready,
do it
ready? Watch
together,
this.
and then
But there's always one that gets angry at the rest of them because they're trying to...
Yeah.
the ones that get me, Sean, at one of our locals, which is the Left Bank,
Yeah.
because there are tables outside
Yes.
and people finish their meals but don't finish everything. They literally get up and leave, and then immediately 8 seagulls bang straight on it, and they're ripping things apart and pulling it and fighting over things, and it's like, I'm just sitting here trying to eat my schnitzel at the next table. Back off.
Yeah. So what seagull stories?
Yeah, I want
Bloody
to see.
seagulls.
I mean, because look what happened here.
Yeah.
I mean, this is game in country Victoria, Mornington Peninsula. Game's on the line.
Seagull.
Bloody seagulls.
Bloody seagulls.
Debbie's in Midland. Morning, Deb.
Good morning. How are you?
Good, Deb.
Oh, Deb, have you had an altercation with a bloody seagull?
Yes, absolutely. A friend of mine. So we went down to Mandurah to do the fish and chips on the foreshore, and this a number of years ago. And they're quite cheeky. They like to get in nice and close and steal your chips and things.
Yeah,
cheeky
and
they
a friend
are.
of mine, she had enough, and she actually reached out and grabbed the seagull by the legs,
She got one.
and it and it freaked out and it
I'm not
chewed on
surprised.
her. A giant explosion
Yes.
that went all over her hot pink dress. I'll never
Yes.
forget it.
Yep.
And she was mortified, so we went into the loos and she was getting some toilet paper and trying to rub it on. And
Yes.
it was the biggest explosion I've ever seen, and it was just, she was mortified. We were killing ourselves
that's
laughing,
funny.
and we've never let her forget. So,
Look, I'm
so
just
now-
going to put it
now
out there. I might be Team Seagull on this. She grabbed me by the leg.
Yeah, and he pooed his pants.
Yeah, I don't expected it at all. It was the funniest thing ever.
Yeah.
You wouldn't forget that.
Nah,
Let's go.
no,
Hot
no,
pink
that's-
dress.
Yeah,
not
that's-
you.
Rubbing it off.
Not you, very funny.
Yeah,
You
much funnier.
Less so.
Thanks, Deb. Johnny's in Baldivis. Morning, Johnny.
How you going, guys? How are you?
Good,
Johnny.
bud. Now, have you had an altercation with a bloody seagull?
I have, unfortunately. This was years ago. I was fishing off the Buston jetty
Yep.
and cast out and I caught a seagull. Just like fluke. And I thought, oh, bloody hell. So instead of, I tried to reel it back in. It took me a little while to get it back in, but managed to get it back in. And basically got close enough to it. And while I had hold of it, I cut the line, dropped my rod off the end of the jetty. So lost my rod.
Yes.
I was peeing about that, and then I started trying to get the line off, and the bloody thing bit me. And I'm freaking screaming.
It's like I'm on your side here, mate.
Let it go. So I didn't get the line out of it, unfortunately.
So you didn't get the line about and you lost your rod off the jetty.
And I lost my rod. So
Oh,
bit of a double whammy. I was pretty peeved about that.
Oh,
but
I
anyway,
bet.
what do you do, mate?
Never heard
Trying
of a
to
seagull
rescue it.
biting. But you
oh
got,
well,
well,
mate, it's got a hook in its mouth.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'd be
oh,
biting
mate,
too.
look.
They got
Yeah,
big
gave me a
beaks.
bit of- Well, they do. They sort of went for a bite,
Yep.
and sort of, the shock of it. I let it go and it flew away. But I didn't manage to get the
rod back.
line out, unfortunately.
One time we caught a pelican doing the same thing because pelicans were looking for the big muleys that were coming
Yes.
off the back of a fishing, and that was
Yeah.
tough to be able to get that bastard out of
Yes.
out of its
That's a big
beak
catch.
because there's a huge thing.
It's a really big bitey beak, isn't it? Thanks, Johnny. Peter, hello.
Hi.
Hi, Pete. Okay, talk to us. Have you had an altercation with a seagull?
Yeah, I certainly have. This was also years ago. I was driving along West Coast Highway, somewhere between Scarborough and City Beach area.
Yep.
And I had the windows open in my car, and I was just driving along, and next minute I heard this thud, and this seagull flew into the panel between the driver and the back seat, and filled my car with feathers, scared the absolute billio out of me. I had to pull over and see whether I had a bird in the car.
Yes.
But I hadn't, so I don't even know if I killed it or not. But I had a car full of feathers. It just scared me so much.
Did it dent the car at all? Do you reckon?
Hey?
Did it dent the car at all?
Yeah, there was you could see a mark on the panel between the car. It was just like blood or whatever.
Yeah.
I can't even remember now, but it just scared me so
Seagull
much.
juice.
I couldn't believe it.
Seagull juice. Where is the
Seagull.
T-shirt that says that?
It's the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Kim from Two Rocks, hello.
Hello. How are you this morning?
Kimbo,
We're wonderful, Kim.
you are now in the draw to see Teddy Swims live in Las Vegas, my friend.
Oh, my God. That is just a dream come true. Oh, my God.
So, Kim, it's next Friday when this is drawn.
Yeah, that's right, when Chrissy Swan's going to call back the winner. So it could be you. Have you been to Vegas before?
Never, ever, ever.
What would you want to get up to? There's a lot of options.
Everything I can.
Yeah.
You got 4 glorious nights. I mean, we do put you up in a hotel, but who's going to sleep? You know what I mean?
Yeah, here.
Oh, look, and at my age, I don't think I'd ever be sort of going over there by myself anyway, so this is just a blow out the water. It's like, oh, my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, you'll have a wild old time.
Ross, what else can she do?
4 nights in Planet Hollywood, Las Vegas. You can see shows. We looked up, there's some really good massage places and legitimate ones, Sean.
Are they, though?
They're all legit in my eyes, Ross.
$5,000 cocktail where it's served to you, with a necklace and a band delivered
You
to
can
you.
hock your belongings at that hock shop that is on Porn Stars.
Yeah, that's it. Lots of options, Kim.
Yeah, lots of options. There's great outlet
sure
shopping
I'll have-
in Vegas.
I'm sure I have an absolute ball, guys.
Yeah, you can get married, Kim.
Yeah.
There's lots of options.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good
I've
luck.
done that once. I don't think I'll do that again.
Overrated, Kim, you reckon?
Pick a stranger. It'll be fun.
I
Just
think
for the
so.
fun of it. Well, you're in the running, Kim. Good luck, okay?
Teddy Swim's album, I've Tried Everything But Therapy Part 2 is out now, featuring global smash hits Bad Dreams, Guilty, and Are You Even Real?
Thanks, Ross. Coming up shortly, the 3-minute thrill. Today, it is worth $2,000 because we've got a jackpot on our hands. So if you've nominated yourself for this, we could be announcing your name and then you'll have exactly 3 minutes to call us back. So be listening very closely. That's coming up soon.
Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Nathan, Nat and Sean's 3-minute thrill with Keno Go. Experience the thrill of the wait with a $40 million jackpot from Keno Go every 3 minutes.
We put the call out for Taylor Bradley from Newshay. She had 3 minutes to call us back, and look, she's done it in record time. 32 seconds it elapsed.
Unbelievable.
Taylor, hello.
Hello.
Taylor, do you want $2,000?
Yeah, no, I can't believe it. I was optimistic, but I didn't think it would happen.
Wow, someone's got to win, and it might as well be you, Taylor.
Thank you.
You are a winner. $2,000 from Keno Go. What do you want to spend the money on, Taylor?
So I want to get one of them high zero wet and dry vacuum mop things.
Oh, Taylor, come on. You can
To do housework.
Yeah, but cleaning after my kids is pretty grueling after dinner.
Yeah, fair call.
I understand. It's not very exotic, though, is it?
I know. Yeah, treat yourself.
With $2,000, I'll get myself a new wardrobe because I haven't had any new clothes in a while.
Great.
Oh, good on you, Taylor.
Excellent. Well, you enjoy going shopping, Taylor, because $2,000 from Keno Go is all yours. Well played.
I will, thank you.
Hey,
What
it's
a
good timing
good
at the
feeling.
moment because you can go with all the end of financial year sales at the moment.
Boom, yes, you can.
Don't
Pick up a
encourage, Sean.
bargain.
I was just hoping that...
Go save a couple bucks with the sales.
Yes.
Yeah, but then they just spend just as much anyway. With
They do they?
My
Listen to
wife does,
yourself.
Sean. Agree?
I'm not saying anything.
She's not
come on.
spending money,
My
Ross.
wife's
She's
amazing,
saving
Ross.
money.
I disagree with that statement.
Hey, another $1,000 to go tomorrow.
You're out there,
Ross
busy.
can't go home. 3-minute drill. We'll be back.
This is the Nathan, Nat, and Sean podcast.
Not much gets me fired up, but what does get me fired up is when there's an injustice in the world.
You do, Ross.
Welcome back, Ross
Yeah.
Warman, Warrior for Justice.
Yeah.
What have you got?
In the past, by the past, I mean the
Parking
last couple of
tickets
weeks,
that
parking
were-
tickets,
yeah.
you're writing notes to
Justified.
people.
But it's just bad behaviour. But my favourite thing is when it's called out, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because they need to be made accountable because there's something unfair, to right the world. This is what one of the school mums was telling me the other day. She said that she put up Buy Nothing, great group, right? Buy Nothing.
I'm in my local Buy Nothing. It is a font of entertainment.
Yeah, well, we actually use it a lot, and it's like it comes off people being kind, right? They're giving out stuff.
Well, the idea is to stop stuff going to landfill, right? That is the premise behind the Buy Nothing movement. So instead of putting it out on the verge at the, your annual verge collection, this is you can pass it on to people.
Yeah,
and
rehome it.
Yeah, rehome it. So what one man's trash is another man's treasure. Yeah. And, I gave away a TV that barely worked to a bunch of Irish guys who were thrilled.
Oh, that's
because
great.
they just moved over. They had nothing in their house. And they said, oh, we'll take it and make it work. And I'm like, good luck. If you can make that happen, good luck to you.
I've heard a lot of stories where people put something up for free on the page, and then no one takes it. Then all of a sudden they put it up for $30, and then someone will come and get it.
Well, you can't put a price on it on the Buy Nothing page. That
Oh, yeah,
goes
we'll
against
change
the
it
ethos. You'll
over.
get, hey, Angela runs ours, and Angela would not stand for that business.
Yeah, there's some pretty intense dictators in the Facebook world, isn't there? All right,
I didn't call Angela a dictator. That was Ross. I'm terrified of her.
So she put up, and it's really good for parents, right? Because there's, toys.
Yeah, and kids grow out of stuff so fast.
Yeah. But one of the things that she put up was a cot, like a really nice cot worth a couple $100. Obviously, they don't need it anymore. Put it up and buy nothing, goes to a parent, and the lady that wanted it, which was within our community.
Oh, yeah, so this is the other thing, is how you decide who gets it.
Yeah.
Now, some people, I often just use a random number generator to pick who receives it. Yeah.
Because people say, I'd like to be considered, and there's a bunch of them, and you got to pick, I guess.
And sometimes there are real sob stories.
Yeah.
Like, I've gotten things because I've been, once was just a little bit funny, and she went, oh, that's, you can have that. Yeah. So, but, so there are various tactics to how you might sway the person to give it to you.
So the lady that wanted it, she wanted it to either have it for her house or have another one at her parents' house. So, when they're babysitting, they've got a cot there.
Yeah, that's cool.
So she goes, cool, you can have it, and she takes the cot. No problem. The next day, she's also part of a marketplace group of that community. What pops up is that exact cot she just gave to this lady, and it pops up for
on the local buy, sell and trade
Yeah,
site.
one of those things for about $200.
Oh, you can't
Profiteering.
immediately take it and then sell it for free and then sell it.
Okay, what's the time limit?
No.
Is there
You have to pretend you've used it for a bit.
Yeah. No, you got to handle. Anyway, so she saw this, and
Yes.
so this is the injustice. But what I like about this is she saw this and she confronted her.
What, face to face? At the school gate or online? On
obviously. No,
Facebook?
they didn't know each other personally. So
Okay.
it was just in the same community. She sends a screenshot of the sale that's happening, the advertised sale for $200 or whatever it was, and she just wrote, and I've got the messages, wow, insert name, this is extremely disappointing. And that's all she said.
Yes.
So she left it at that. She waited for a bit. The response she got was along the lines of, this must be very frustrating for you. My intention was to give it to the grandparents. However, it didn't have storage under it, so it didn't really work in this case.
But if that's the case, you just put it back on the buy nothing page.
And then she said...
And somebody else who will put their hand up for it can have it. You don't sell it.
Totally agree. But then she said she went into a bit of like, oh, we really do need the money, rents and stuff like that, etc.
And all this self-realisation happened in the space of a day.
Yeah, I know. I'm
so
sorry.
Have you considered doing this to make a few extra bucks?
I am doing it. No, I wouldn't do that. It would be unjustified. Anyway, so she responded, and then her response to that was, and this is the person that gave it to her, it's not frustrating, more disappointing that you've taken something gifted and are now trying to make money from it. I expect you'll do the right thing and remove this sale post and then re-gift it as I had intended. She also contacted the admin.
Yes.
So they were aware of it.
Yes.
And after a lot of...
She's on notice.
She's on notice. She was cajoled into re-gifting it, which she
Was
did.
she?
But she was
Well,
trying to
that's the right
sell
thing
it
to
for
do.
$200. Does
I
that
know.
not infuriate you?
Well, she's entrepreneurial, Sean,
Yes.
and you love that.
Yeah, I like to craft, bit of craft.
but not at the expense of people's goodwill.
No.
Yeah. Why you
Do I have to be involved in this conversation?
But
Good on you, Ross. She's been called out.
Yeah,
So you're happy that Ross Woolman, Warrior for Justice, is satisfied with the outcome?
order has been restored. The perpetrators
gavel.
have been accountable. So
made
don't
accountable.
do it. Come to me with your stories, by
Now
the way.
sort out
Yes.
the mushroom trial.
If you do have a story, hit us up.
Yep.
Yeah,
Get Ross
the
to
Warrior
chuck
for
it out there.
Justice will be onto it.
This is the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Of course, we're all very closely watching events unfolding in the Middle East, and especially as invested as I am, because I am due to fly via Dubai to Turkey, which borders Iran, next Friday.
And don't forget, Trump just came out saying this.
They don't know what the they're doing.
Yeah,
you
okay.
understand that?
Yeah.
But that wasn't the Middle East, that was here. And
That
so
was-
we go,
That's us.
We took that a bit.
finally he said something that makes sense.
A bit personally. And then, of course, so if we skip back 24 hours to when Iran was bombing Doha.
Yes.
So bombing a US base in Qatar. Qatar's a very small country. Doha is just up the road from Dubai. Doha is also where flights that are on Qatar Airlines, they stop over in Doha. So that airspace was closed. But our hearts went out to the Qantas flight that was direct from Perth to Charles de Gaulle Airport, which is Paris. So there's a direct
That's right.
service.
Yes.
And they were on their way. And 7.5 hours in, they had to turn around and come back again.
7.5 hours.
So that is, if you double that, That's 15 hours in the air and you haven't gone anywhere.
So they came all the way back to Perth.
Yeah, because because there was so much uncertainty and they were going to have to fly right over the top of it.
That is, and so they would have got an announcement halfway through.
Yeah.
Like, hey,
And if you're the person like me, a bit of a nerd who watches the map, I like to watch the map every now and then.
Okay.
And you'd be looking at the map and just going, where's the stunner U-turn?
Yeah, and I saw
7.5 hours. How far you reckon you get in 7.5 hours as past Singapore and all that kind of stuff?
Oh, yeah, so you're not going...
But you're not going that way.
No, you're not
yeah.
going that way. So you'd be probably...
You turn left at the lights?
Probably over the Maldives, maybe?
And it's,
yes.
So
Yeah.
14 hours and they're in the same spot they
15
left
hours.
15 hours ago.
And then they rock up and they're home.
How would you feel if you're on that flight before you knew it was...
Well, I've been close to this happening to me. So 2 years ago, I was heading over and I was on the direct flight from Perth to London, and then I was getting a connection to Copenhagen to go and visit my cousin that lives in Denmark, Princess Mary.
Yes, of course. Remember.
That's what I tell everyone. And then we were 3.5 hours into that flight, and the pilot came on and said... There he is. And he said, we're terribly sorry. We have a medical emergency on board. We're returning to Perth. And we did the U-turn. And then we're going. And then so I'm they'd just served dinner. So everybody was starting to settle into for the night, essentially, because by then it was about 10:30 at night and getting close to 11 o'clock. And we were all like, oh, this is awful. But there were quite a few people who decided that they were going to get through this flight because it's tough in economy. And I was down the back with them.
What were you doing there?
I know, I don't know. It was
Lose your keys?
error of I'd asked for an upgrade, don't worry. Missed out, it was full. And they pop a sleeping pill to help them get through.
Yeah.
And of course... Then what happened? So we were going to return to Perth, and which would have been 7 hours in the air and not going anywhere. And I'm thinking I'm going to have to go home and wake up my house sitter who's looking at. And it's a lot to explain, and a lot of unknown because I've got onward flights and all this sort of stuff. And then we ended up in Singapore because the passenger who was having the medical episode had deteriorated, and luckily for him, he did survive. So this, nobody begrudged it. It was it literally saved his life, and the fact that business class on that particular flight was full of doctors going on their Eurovacay. He was in great hands. Yeah, okay. So it was a happy ending ultimately. But we were then stranded. So we arrived in the middle of the night in Singapore. Everybody who'd popped their pills were literally dazed and confused. They didn't know what was going on. They thought they were going to be waking up in London. All of a sudden they're in a airport lounge at Changi Airport and being sort of bundled onto buses and sent off to accommodation. And they did a great job of accommodating us in the middle of the night. It was incredible the way they actually operated and mobilised and got everybody up and going. But it was a very long day. And at the end of it, then we didn't leave Singapore until 11:30 the following night, that night. So we had pretty much 24 hours in Singapore.
Sometimes you got to turn back.
I know.
But 15 hours, 7.5 hours in.
Yeah, I mean... once you knew why, I'm sure you are.
That's right, because they didn't want to fly over war.
Yeah. But
like recently outbroken war. That's an unfortunate circumstance. Have you had to turn back for whatever reason? And it doesn't have to have been a flight.
No, absolutely. You could be driving up north, up to the
or the
northwest coast.
The great pilgrimage across the Nullarbor, and then you realise you forgot to.
Left the oven on.
Yeah. Left the iron on.
Home alone. Left the human at home.
Yes. Could have been that. Tom's in North Perth. Hello.
Hi, how's it going?
Good, Tom. Buddy. Have you been turned around? What happened?
Oh, basically, back in the UK, my family's supposed to go into Gran Canaria, or one of the Canary Islands.
Yes.
About to get on the plane, setting off, and a volcano erupts in the middle of Gran Canaria, I think it was.
Oh,
bad timing.
Got grounded. Yeah, it was a bloody nightmare.
How did you feel? Because, I mean, you can't really be angry at an inanimate volcano. You can be, I guess.
Nah, I was kind of disappointed that I didn't get to see it, to be honest. I wanted to see it from the plane.
Yeah, right. As the plane's engulfed in a cloud of ash.
Good for the engines.
Yeah, I didn't get to see it once.
Yeah, that's true. Did you get to go on the holiday, or was the whole holiday cancelled?
Whole holiday cancelled. Flights across Europe got grounded. I had to wait until the next following week, I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh, lucky you with EasyJet because there's another £10 and then you're off again.
Good times. Thanks, Tom. Jay's in Ellenbrook. Morning, Jay.
Morning, guys. How are you?
Good, Jay.
Buddy. Now, when did you have to turn around?
So a few years ago, I thought I'll take the family to go and see where I grew up in Bridgetown. So
Lovely.
we planned a little nice, staycay down there.
Yep.
Drive down, and the kids have both forgotten the comforters.
Oh, no.
Is that like a pillow or a teddy bear?
No, a blanket, a little blanket that they have.
Yes.
And they cannot sleep without them. So I dropped them off at the chalets, drove all the way back to Ellenbrook to grab 2 blankets, and then drove back.
Oh, Jay, you're a great dad, but how annoying.
So what is it? It's
And
about
that's a
3 hours to
3.5
Bridgetown?
Yeah, about 3 hours, 3.5 hour trip.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that was nice and fun. But
So you went down, back and down again. So that's 9, 10 and a half hours.
And I have a feeling somebody would have blamed you for this.
Yes, I
She's in
definitely
the
got
background.
blamed for it. And they stayed down there while I drove back.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, they did.
Jay.
Oh, yeah, Jay.
Good man, though.
Oh, yeah, that's the trap, isn't it? When they rely on them to sleep.
And you
It's
can't, talk him out of it logically, can you?
No.
Oh, kids.
I know. Who'd have them?
Exactly.
Thanks, Jay. Tanya's in Jane Brook. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
Good, Tan. Okay, why did you have to turn around? What happened?
Okay, so this didn't actually happen to me, but one of my very good friends, her and her husband are school teachers, so they set off on their school holidays with their 4 young children, and they on the way to Carragini, they get probably halfway there, which is about a 15-hour drive, and they had to pull over for a toilet break, and their rag doll cat was in the caravan with them. It had gotten in while they were packing up. No one had noticed. So they were about to turn around and head all the way back, but they got a family member to meet them halfway. So they only had to do about 6 hours back rather than...
A stowaway cat. Because you can't take a cat into a national park.
No, you can't.
So,
old Carragini. Oh, my goodness.
and also, you'd just be worried it'd run away all the time.
Pussy on the loose isn't good in Carragini.
No, you don't want that, Sean.
Great start to holidays.
What about the family member getting the call?
Yeah.
Any
Like,
danger you can meet
you
us?
drive up, drive for about 7 hours and come and get our cat? It's like,
Me and Jero.
wait, what?
What?
How many?
It's the Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Over wherever you go.
It's 9:04. Nathan, Nat and Sean. Time for us to get out of here. Tomorrow on the show, Pav is going to join us.
Yep. 3 Minute Thrill is back again. We'll have $1,000 up for grabs this time.
Yes, and on Friday, just a bit of a heads up, Jeremy McGovern's going to be joining us, recently retired, of course, and he's going to stay for an extended time so we can have a great chat to him and really unpack his incredible career. So that's coming up on Friday. It's going to be brilliant. Good morning, Sam.
Oh, even as a Dockers supporter, looking forward to that. He is a legend. So
Great guy.
it'll be great to have him in, guys. I'm missing you in the morning, but I'm glad I wasn't up at 4:30 or 5 o'clock today.
Why?
Absolutely freezing this morning.
On, no.
Oh my goodness! I don't know how you guys are doing it this last couple of weeks. It's been shocking.
You have a blanket
to be
in.
fair, we are inside.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to drive here. I got a blanket in my car, Sam. It is fresh out there.
Still a little bit nippy this morning, under 10 degrees most of the suburbs at the moment.
Yeah.
So good luck if you're out there today.
Nice sunny day, though.
Yeah, hopefully warms up a little bit. Good luck to you guys today. Hope you
on
have
ya.
a nice one. We will chat to you more tomorrow.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au. Nova.